Welcome back to the Corvair project. This 62 Corvair is getting its makeover, and we're going to go ahead. We've got part of the drawers and all put in it on the last part of this film, and now we're going on to replacing this wall so I can start installing the rest of those panels up against the wall and kind of leave them in place. So we're going to go through that, I hope, with this segment. I went ahead on the floor here, a little bit dark in here this morning, but the rust encapsulator, we went ahead and did that over the rust stains in here. We prepped the floor and wire brushed it a little bit, and that's supposed to keep that rust from coming on through. So that looks nice and shiny, I guess, or dull, whichever way you want to go. It looks like it covered up pretty good, so we'll go with that. And I guess the next phase of this, we'll go ahead and start taking all those little screws out. I got to figure out how to, I don't know, the trim around those windows just does not look as good as I'd really like it to do. So maybe we can do something a little bit with that. See what kind of creativeness I can come up with. I don't know what's behind that so much. It looks like some 2x4 or something. So we'll tear that out and see what we got behind it, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got the panel pulled out. It was just a matter of taking all the little screws out of it and a little bit of nailing and stuff around this framework of the windows. So we're going to have to, I don't know if I want to mess with that. I think I'm going to just make some trim to go in and butt up against it. Put a couple screws to hold it in place, and that way if they do need to get to these windows and take them out, it would just be a matter of taking some trim out. I think it's going to work out best, and we'll try to get it blocked in. I don't like this look here, so we're going to do something with that. Looks like they had done some repairs of some form. I don't know if that's the old sink drain or whatever it was, because this here, of course, had all the kitchen in here. I don't know what else that would be from, but they got it all patched up. You can't really tell it from outside. And other than that, doesn't really look in too bad a shape. And everything's just screwed to these the channels here. So we'll be able to come back in and screw right back to that again, I think, without any problem. I don't know if we'll be able to hit the same holes, but we'll see how that works out. We might try to. So what we're going to do is we'll just take and basically lay this one down and out here on a new sheet of plywood and just trace it out, cut it out, and it'll be ready to go back in. We'll have it looking pretty good. So let's go cut her out. Okay, we went ahead and just traced this one out after I got it on the bench over here. And I think it's going to be all right. I went down through, I don't know if that was rotted out or not. I might have to trim that back up a little bit. And I simply went through every place there was a screw hole. Seems how I know it's going to line back up. Went ahead and marked all of those. So we'll take this over and see if we can make it fit back into the van. Definitely going to have to do some trim on it because it did splinter out in a couple spots on that one there. So we'll see if we can cover that up with some trim. I think we can. It's not too bad, a couple little spots. So we'll take it over, get it attached in there, and then we'll work on trimming around that window a little bit. Okay, it's a little bit noisy in the shop. I got the CNC going. We'll show you why in a minute here, but the new paneling has been installed on the sidewall. And now we're working on trying to make this window look a little better. So the first thing I've done is built these on the CNC machine, and we just carved them out, and then we'll build a little framework around that, and that'll cover up all this edge, make it look a little bit better. So that's what we're working on now. I think that was the easiest way to do it. We can see over here in the noise. We'll show you real quick how we did this. I made two of them at a time, both the top and the bottom, by simply putting the two boards together and letting it carve it all at one time. So we'll go ahead and finish making these up, and let's see what's happening at the end. Okay, this is what the frames are starting to look like. We've got them glued up, and they'll be ready to go in the windows. Well, we'll have to put a little bit of window casing around it and route that in, but I think for today that's about going to wrap us up. We'll let these dry up. It's been a long day, and we'll be back at the project just like that. And good morning once again. We're back just working on the van. It's already hot and humid out here, and it's only, well, 7 o'clock. I've been out here about an hour. But anyways, we're going to put it in another day, hopefully. We've got the frames all clamped up and glued up and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and just put the little framework around them. Quite a little bit of a pain in the butt here, but gluing those up, and it takes a bunch of clamps to get it all clamped together. Hopefully that'll make it look right. So I think it'll fit in the hole perfectly. So while that one's drying up, I don't have enough clamps to possibly do both of them. So we're going to let that one set for a little while. Then we'll glue this one up. And I think the next thing we're going to try to work on is going to be this one here. Within this hole was the sliding doors. So I've got to build a framework around this one. I wanted to do that out of this dark wood also. And then we'll have to make it just the thickness of the slide rail and that type of thing. So I think that's where we're going to start at next. See if we can get that worked in here and see how that works. So we'll keep you posted as we update on progress. Okay, for the update, we've got number 2 in the clamps. We took number 1 off of the clamps for our little window. And we got something missing here, as you see. This one's gone. That was the left-hand driver's side panel, and you'll see that we've got that looking pretty good, I think. Let's go this way, I guess. So in here, we've got it set back in place. We went ahead and update here is we've gone ahead and put a border around it. A little bit of darkness there makes that look a little bit better. And then, as you remember, our original window looks like that, and got a little bit of sanding and stuff to do, but we've got a piece of trim that goes around there. I think that looks a little bit better. So that window will get the other one, and a little bit of sanding on that. And then I've also cut the plywood for the bed here. And the next thing I need to work on to get that finished off is, of course, these drawers have got to slide in here easily. We'll put knobs on here eventually. But they're going to ride up on the top of this ridge. And it looks like my boards have ended up in the middle of that ridge. So I'm going to have to cut me some bigger boards to get that so it'll hold this up off the drawer just a little bit. So I'll calculate that out. And then these side ones, they're going to have to be cut in half and attached to this other panel, because that has to allow enough room to get to the engine, which is located up underneath this panel here. So we'll cut those in half, mount them as high as we can to make that a level surface. And once I get that done, we'll attach these boards to this. And this whole system should slide back and forth. If they need to get to the engine, just simply slide it forward after moving the bed stuff out of the way, or the sofa in the front. Or take it all the way out. These doors won't open up all the way, so they can do that also. So that's going to be the next part of the project. We'll let that other window casing framework dry. We'll sand that when I feel like sitting still, but we'll go ahead and build these couple of boards a little bit thicker than what I've got here and see if we can make this bed kind of go back together. So that's our update for now. We'll be back with another one before you know it. Okay, looks like it's another day in the shop. We've been working on this. I didn't catch anything first part of the day, but we did kind of get this bed, I think, where we're going to be happy with it. This would be pretty much what it looks like I say, except for we're going to put some drawer pulls on the front of these drawers here. So that'll pull those out. Everything's just setting in place. I believe he's going to make all new mattresses here, so that's fine because we're going to need a little bit different size. I've got a little bit more sanding and whatnot to do back here. But we can go ahead and show you what we think we've come up with to make this work like a bedroom. So this is how it's going to sit here. It needs a little bit bigger cushions. Like I say, we've got the back up there a little higher. If he wants that to be a little bit less, I reckon we could probably change that and lower it down a little bit. So we'll kind of go with that on whatever size cushions he's going. Might make the difference. So we're going to try to set this in here to where you can watch and see what it's going to take and what I come up with for making the plan work. So what I think we need to do is, if you want to make this into a full-size bed, you're just going to take this cushion off, take this cushion off. You'll have to set this off to the side. This one sits in there nice and easily. So that'll sit there. And then we'll grab a hold of these drawers, which will also have some sort of handle on them. And you pull these on out. I'm just going to do the one. All three of them will pull out. There's too much like the pain to do right here. And then we'll take these and simply set this back on here. And this one back on here. And we pull this out as far as we need it to hold it up. we take our cushions, and when he gets new cushions, they'll actually be the right size, I think, to cover the entire bed. And then it's plenty big enough and sturdy enough to sit on and get a 6-foot body in here pretty good. So that'll be it. I have a little extra. If you do not want to do the full 6 foot, you would have the option to simply remove one of these pieces, slide this back up in, and let it just stop here, and then use one of the cushions, whichever one is the bigger of the cushions, and set it in here. And that would give you, because you're going to have these cushions, I believe, are going to have to be 20 inches or so. And if you do that, I think it'll fill that in pretty nicely. So you can pretty much get that whatever size you want and set it in there if you want to go all the way into the far side. So I think that's about the best we're going to come up with on how to make this work. Of course, it just takes a minute to set it all back in place, get it back to a chair. Slide that back out the way. That sits up in there like that. Of course, we've got all the sides built in over here. We've closed all that in. Got a little base there. The only thing else, I don't think we need a stand underneath this to hold this up. It seems to be pretty sturdy even at the far reaches. But we might have to put something to keep this from sliding around a little bit. But we throw our cushions back up on top. And that gets us our chair back. So I think that's going to work. Like I said, we'll get the new thing there. If he wants to cut that top off a little bit to make that a little bit shorter, we could probably do that. But we like a little bit higher back, so we tried to make that about equal to a regular chair. So we can pass that by before we do any final, but I think that's good for the back side for now. I think we're pretty well covered on that. And I think what we're going to have to do now is prepare ourselves for the rebuild of the kitchen sink. That'll be what we call the kitchen sink, the cabinet there. I'm going to take that on around there, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can't manufacture that back into place and see what we can come up with. So, and the last piece will be the one that fills in between the two, as I want that to be a tight fit going in between the two cabinets to hold everything in place. And that's basically what they had in here before. So that's what we're shooting for. So we'll go ahead and move this one over to the other side of the shop, get the other mess cleaned up, and we'll start working on the cabinet. Okay. I think we've about going to call this one enough on the project for today and this film. I don't know how much I've actually got on here, so I'm going to go ahead and say, with the bed being pretty well in place, we've done a little shop cleanup. It was definitely needing some. So I think we're ready to go ahead and get started on the next part, which will be the cabinet. And looking forward to that. Hope y'all are enjoying some of the updates as we go. And let me know what you think. If you think I'm missing something, or you know someplace I should be improving on it, let me know. But we're going to try to test getting this cabinet built. Shouldn't be a real bad project, I don't think. Let's see how it goes. It'll be the next phase of this series I'm putting together, I guess. So thanks a bunch. Let me know what you think. Hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss any other updates on that. And we'll catch you on the next part.